Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum, brothers and sisters. Today's episode is a revisit of the relationship between electric field and electric potential, and how a small electrically charged sphere is affected when placed in such a uniform electric field. So join me till the end of this video. Watch and learn. The problem is a small sphere with mass 1.50 grams hangs by a thread between two very large parallel vertical plates 5.00 centimeters apart. The plates are insulating and have uniform surface charge densities positive sigma and negative sigma. The charge on the sphere, denoted by small letter q, is equal to 8.90 times 10 raised to the negative 6 coulomb. What potential difference or voltage between the plates will cause the thread to assume an angle of 30.0 degrees with the vertical? As shown in figure 1, we have the illustration, right? Um, we are given the charge densities of the vertical or parallel vertical plates. Okay, the one on the left has a positive charge density denoted by uh, sigma or positive sigma, while the one on the right is or has a charge density negative sigma. So initially, the charged sphere, okay, is at its uh, stationary position, all right? In other words, it doesn't make any angle theta from the vertical. But at this point, when the charged sphere is placed in between these charged plates, this is what happens to the charged sphere, right? It is deflected uh, to the right, all right? Making an angle theta equal to 30.0 degrees. So, why does this happen? Uh, we can say that uh, the charged sphere experiences an electrostatic force due to the electric field between the two plates. Okay? And the mass of the charged sphere, which is given, equal to 1.50 grams, and its electrical charge, denoted by small letter q, also given, the magnitude of which is 8.90 times 10 raised to the negative 6 coulomb. And the separation distance between the parallel plates, denoted by small letter d, is equal to 5.00 centimeters. So, the fact that the charged sphere is deflected to the right, all right, we can infer that there is a what we call an electrostatic force due to the electric field between the two parallel plates. Okay, and by convention, the electrostatic force that the sphere experiences, okay, has the same direction as the uniform electric field, right? Which is directed from the positive plate to the negative plate. Okay, thus the sphere is repelled, right, or pushed by this electric field, okay, in the direction uh, shown here, causing it uh, or the thread to form an angle equal to 30.0 degrees. And the total force, also known as the net force, on the charged sphere, okay, causes it to be deflected like this. So at this instant or at this position, we say that the charged sphere, okay, is also in static equilibrium, right? In just a short while, we are going to determine the what we call voltage or electric potential that is responsible for such deflection of the sphere, right? In other words, our target variable is the electric potential or voltage between the two parallel plates. We denote that by capital B. The next step in our solution is to identify the forces acting on the charged sphere. So we have in figure 2 what we call a force vector diagram. Okay, the vertical broken line here represents the y coordinates, and the horizontal broken line, of course, represents the x coordinates. All right, we represent the charged sphere by a dot, and we are assuming that the forces acting on the charged sphere are concurrent and coplanar. So the first force acting on the charged sphere is the force of gravity, or the weight of the sphere, represented by a small letter w, which is of course equal to the product of its mass and acceleration due to gravity, or mg. And the force exerted by the thread is considered the tension, or the tension force, labeled capital T. And this force, or tension force, makes an angle theta with the vertical. And it has an x and a y component. All right. So the horizontal component of the tension capital T, labeled here as T sub x. And by definition of the sine function, which is in a imaginary right triangle, sine of the angle theta is equal to the opposite side of the imaginary right triangle, okay, divided by the hypotenuse, right? The hypotenuse, of course, is represented by the tension force capital T. So our expression for the horizontal component of the tension force T is capital T times sine of the angle theta. And of course, the vertical component labeled as capital T sub y, its direction is in the positive y direction, and it is expressed as the product of capital T and the cosine of the angle theta. And since we consider the charged sphere to be in static equilibrium, all right, all the forces acting on it when added vectorially, right, the sum or the vector sum of these forces, also known as the net force, must be equal to 0. All right. For instance, the summation of Fx, right, or the forces along the horizontal, okay, includes Tx, which is directed to the left, and another force, which we express as EQ, right, being the product of the electric field and the charge small q, which is represented by this arrow pointing to the positive x direction. So Tx and the force EQ are of the same magnitude but opposite in direction. So the vector sum is equal to 0, right? And for the vertical component Ty, the force of gravity or the weight of the sphere also has the same magnitude but opposite in direction to T sub y. That's why T sub y can also be equated to mg, or the weight of the sphere. So our goal at this point is to come up with a mathematical expression for the uniform electric field between the two charged plates, right? So we have these two equations, Tx equals E times Q, and Ty equals mg. Trigonometrically, if we divide Tx, okay, or the equation for Tx by the equation for Ty, okay, that is capital T sine theta over capital T cosine theta will give us tangent theta, which means that we will also be dividing EQ, all right, by mg. So again, the tangent function of the angle theta is equal to the product of the electric field and the charge Q divided by the weight, the sphere, mg. And since what we want is an expression for the electric field, capital E, then we just isolate capital E and come up with this equation. The electric field between the two charged plates, capital E, is just equal to the product of tangent of the angle theta and the weight of the sphere, mg, divided by the charge q, right? The charge of the sphere. Using this expression for the electric field, capital E, between the two parallel plates, okay, E equals tangent theta times mg divided by q. We can substitute it in the equation capital B equals capital E times D, or the potential or electric potential, also known as voltage, okay, between the two parallel plates is equal to the product of the electric field and the distance that separates the two plates. That is, capital V is equal to the, the separation distance, D, multiplied by tangent theta and times mg divided by q, or the charge small q. So when we plug in the quantities into this equation, we have 5.00 times 10 raised to the negative 2 meters. That's the value of the separation distance D. Then multiply it by tangent of the angle 30.0 degrees, multiplied also by the mass of the sphere, 1.50 times 10 raised to the negative 3 kilogram, and the value of the acceleration due to gravity, 9.80 meter per second squared. And then divide the whole thing by the given value of the charge of the sphere, 8.90 times 10 raised to the negative 6 coulomb. So when we do our math, we arrive at the value of capital V equal to 47.7 volts, rounded to 3 significant figures. So this is our final answer to the question. All right? What is the electric potential between the two parallel plates, all right, to cause the charged sphere to be deflected at that angle theta, equal to 30.0 degrees from the vertical. And that ends our video tutorial for this topic. May I say mabuhay. Till the next episode, MashaAllah. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel Alhamdulillah.